More time. All right, so everybody knows that I am certified in basic first aid and also basic life support. And a year ago, I was given the opportunity to do a first aid station at a Native American powwow at a place called Nankin Mills here in Westland. And the event went really well. And then this year, I got to do a few other events in a place called Oak Village, Plymouth. And I actually get to do an event there at the end of this month. And then this Saturday coming up, I'm recording this video on a Wednesday. This Saturday coming up, there is a that powwow was actually happening again, and I get to do the first aid station again. So I figured, why not do a video going over everything that it is that I carry in my my first aid bags. As you can see, there's 3 of them here, and I'm going to explain why I have 3 of them in this video. I know some of you have probably seen some of my photos and stuff of the stuff I carry, and I know that it may look like a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to lie to you, I do like to keep an overstock of things just in case, because you never know if I'm going to run out of something. But it's nothing that you might think it is. If you think that there's going to be like IV start kits and intubation trays and things of that sort, you know, that's not what this is. This is basically all this is just Band-Aids and gauze pads and a few other odds and ends and stuff, which is why I'm going to make this video to go over everything. So my kits are set up a little differently right now because I am getting ready for the event on Saturday, and also it's bike riding season still here, and this big bag here I used to use as my main medical bag, if that makes sense. Anytime that I would go on like car rides or I would go traveling, this would come with me, and it still does. But right now, this is basically stocked with just backup supplies that I'm going to be bringing to the powwow on Saturday, and then to the chili cook-off on the 29th, just in case I need extra supplies. Not that I would, but you never know. This used to be actually stocked, though, as an actual proper first aid bag or first aid kit or medical kit, if you will. Everything that I have on me is stuff that I'm trained on, stuff that I know how to use properly, and that I'm certified to use, and that I can legally use, if that makes sense. I know it looks like a lot. Like I said before, I like to have an overstock just in case, because I would rather have it and not need it than find myself in a situation where I need it and I don't have it. Some of the stuff that I carry that I'm going to go over today, I may never ever have to use. Like that AED, for example. I may never ever have to use it, but I would rather have it and not ever need it than need it one day and not have it. So I carry 2 triangular bandages. These are by Lightning X Products, and that's actually the company where I got this big red bag from. Lightning X is actually a really good company. I really highly recommend them. They have different style kits. They have ALS kits. They have EMT level kits. They have BLS bag kits. And then they have just a first aid basic bag. And that's what this was. Just the first aid basic bag. So this could be for anybody, even people who may not even have a certification. They just want a bag to put like a couple Band-Aids in or whatever. You know, you're going on a road trip, and you don't have you don't have one of these, well, get one of these. But I obviously have it for other reasons, but whatever. So yes, I carry 2 of those. I always make sure that I have Band-Aids on me that are multiple sizes, because you just never know what the size of a cut or whatever is going to be. So these are designed for knee wounds or like elbow wounds, or you know, something that needs a little bit more of a bigger layer of protection. I also carry a bunch of gauze sponges. Always good to have. I have surgical dressings that I carry as well. I have 2 elastic bandages. And I also carry 1 gauze roll, which is just a normal, basic, run-of-the-mill gauze roll. And then I have medical tape. I also carry, on the bottom, a pair of trauma shears. Now, trauma shears have multiple purposes. All right, so on the top of my travel-sized first aid bag, I have a whole bunch of gauze sponges again, just like the bottom, just more backup. I also carry 4 hydrocolloid dressings. Now, I've never used these before. From what I know, hydrocolloid dressings are usually applied to like prevent infection and things of that sort. I don't know if I'm ever going to use these on somebody or whatever. Actually, I think these actually came with the bag, but I just have my first aid and basic life support courses. They went over obviously universal precautions, how to prevent yourself from getting exposed to bodily fluids and things of that sort, and they put so much emphasis on gloves. You don't have to wear a biohazard suit, but at least make sure that you're wearing some sort of barrier between, yourself and the other person, if that makes sense. So these are latex free. I have a latex allergy. I don't know how many of you knew that, but I do. So I have to be careful around latex. I just break out. That's it. It's nothing that bad, but I still want to stay away from it. So everything I have, from the bandages to the dressings, I carry nothing but latex free. It's universal, so everybody doesn't have to worry about being exposed to that if they have an allergy themselves. Just never know. But yes, definitely make sure you have a bunch of gloves, and I carry a bunch of gloves with me. I also have burn dressings. I carry 2 burn dressings for severe burns, so bigger burns. And then I carry burn dressings that are the size of, actually, the knee bandages, you can see, for smaller burns. Now moving on to this big red bag. This is a bag from Lightning X Products. And it's the basic first aid bag. And it already came stocked, fully stocked as a first aid kit for lay people, people who are certified, whatever. But I've since made my own modifications to it. And like I said recently, I've been biking a lot. So mainly everything that I had in here, I have fit into here. And then all the backup supplies that I had, that I actually kept in a drawer, I now keep in here. Because it's better to keep it in here than keep it in a drawer somewhere. It's a lot more neatly organized, if that makes sense, instead of scattered all over the place. So it's good to be neat and have that. So I have a box of gloves, a set of 100 gloves. Like I said, they're Nitrolite or Neutralite or however you pronounce it, powder-free, latex-free exam gloves. These are medical grade. They're not just food grade. They are medical grade. And then I carry some backup alcohol prep pads. I carry backup gauze rolls. I carry 3 of them. I have another elastic bandage, or actually these are ACE bandages. These are 4 ACE bandages all bundled up into one big roll. Pair of scissors for cutting gauze and stuff. I also have more elastic bandage type material. I carry some backup surgical dressings. I also have some backup medical tape as well. Some backup bandages or band-aids. I also have backup 4x4 gauze sponges and backup knee-sized or minor-sized bandages as well. Turning over to the sides, I have some more backup ACE bandages, and I also carry 2 instant cold packs. Well, actually, one of the things I enjoy doing when I do these first aid things is I enjoy walking around. I like to immerse myself in the environment I'm in. I don't want to just sit there and watch or observe and wait for someone to need my assistance. I'm obviously there for a reason, to help someone who may need help. Basic first aid, BLS, things of that sort, for the first aid station. And so I wanna have my supplies on me when I go walking around and stuff, just in case someone were to need help and I'm out walking around, rather getting a bite to eat or checking out the vendors or whatever it is I'm doing. I usually have a radio that I can keep in communication with everybody. So if they need me or someone goes up to the station when I'm not there, they can page me and I can go there and help them or whatever. Or someone needs help on some other side of the event, whatever the situation may be. So I love to walk around, but I also want to have my stuff on me. This is way too bulky and way too heavy. So this year at the powwow, I am actually going to be using this as my primary medical bag. So this is basically kind of like a hiking butt bag, hip bag, whatever you want to call it. And what it is you basically just strap it around your waist. It snaps around your waist and it fits like a butt bag or a tote bag. The only difference is that there's no cup holders for your, a thing for you to put like your water bottle in or whatever. So for those of you who don't know, a CAT tourniquet is a tourniquet that is applied to people who have wounds that bleed a lot, where applying pressure will not stop the bleeding, like life-threatening, life or death injuries. Rather, if it's a gunshot wound or a stab wound or whatever it may be, this can definitely mean the matter between life and death. Just like the defibrillator, the AED, this is also a big life-saving tool. Another very important life-saving tool that I carry is Narcan. This is my overdose response kit. Now, my overdose response kit, what I carry in it, this is really good to have if someone is suspected of being experiencing an overdose. Now, the good thing about Narcan is that Narcan is a type of medication that will not harm someone if you give it to them and they're not overdosing. So, like, let's say, you see somebody who looks like maybe they're overdosing or whatever, but they're not really overdosing, and you give them some Narcan, it's not going to kill them. It's not going to cause any sort of like any sort of like life-altering issues, if you will. And now in the state of Michigan, they're trying to make it over the counter, and I believe you can still get it with the prescription. But I got this on a reservation when I first got my first aid certification, because one of the things that we went over is Narcan, and the same thing happened with my basic life support certification. In fact, Narcan was actually a big part of it. So I don't ever see myself ever having to use this. I live in an area where hard drugs like that, I don't really see that much. Um, but because I do ride my bike places and I also take this when I go traveling and stuff, you just never know. And I would rather have it and never need it than need it and not have it. So I always make sure everywhere I go, if I'm going to hang out with a friend, whatever, I always make. And last, but certainly not least, the AED. I already did a video a while back on my YouTube where I went over the AED defibrillator, so I'm not even going to go over it, but I still have this. This is a loaner from Heart AED. I'm borrowing it. I am on a waiting list to get one permanently, to own one, but this one I'm not owning. In fact, when all the events I'm doing are over with for the year, I actually have to return this back to the person who I got it from. So for that purpose, I'm not going to open it up. I'm not going to do any of that because it's a really expensive machine, and it's very important that I have this because if this is needed, then you got a really serious situation on your hands. But anyways, that is the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment and do whatever. All right. Stay safe, everybody.